Yeah, I mean, it's been a heck of a week. We had 3 games in 6 days. Against a tough South Carolina team, and then Tennessee here at home, and then Alabama on the road, and now we're back at home. We're happy to be back at home. The challenges don't get any easier. I mean, Kentucky is as good a team as there is in the country. Just a deep, terrific team, and so you kind of learn along the way, and some things that you think are going to work that don't work, and some things that that you're surprised by. And then the league's built up as it is. I mean, it's an incredibly tough league, and you kind of just got to just take it one game at a time, one step at a time, because if you look too far ahead, it's overwhelming, and if you look behind you, you're like, how do I make it through that? So just staying in the moment, and we got a big challenge on Saturday, and we're excited we're going to be at home.
How does the style Kentucky plays, how is it similar to Alabama? How is it different from what you've seen?
Yeah, there is some similarities between Alabama and Kentucky. First off, they're pushing hard in transition. They actually take more threes, than Alabama, which you don't think anybody does that. But they shoot it from different positions. Mark Pope does a great job of putting guys in position to be successful. They're going to attack from the beginning of the shot clock all the way through, and so you being alert and trying to take away shots early in the possession is important. And then at the same time, their personnel is so good that sometimes you can play great defense and it's not going to be good enough, and you just got to move on and hopefully get it back.
I think it used to be a thing where people assumed the first year with the new head coach was kind of just a scrap year trying to build. You guys have won a lot this year. Mark Pope has won a lot this year. Do you think that kind of notion, especially maybe with the transfer portal, is kind of a little outdated?
I mean, there's a lot of things outdated in college athletics. I'm not so sure, with that being a new coach and what the expectations are. My mentality is probably the same with Mark Pope. It's you do the best you can at that time, and you look too far down the road, and I think it becomes a habit, and you're continually looking down the road, and staying here and now and doing the best I can with this team is my goal, and it'll be the same thing next year. It's difficult, entire new roster, and it's not easy doing that in this league. And I know Mark Pope and I could probably compare some notes about the challenges of that, but I don't think anybody looks at it saying, let's give me some time. I always think that's kind of just just an excuse. Give me some time, and at the same time, I would say, look, maybe right now what we're doing is not good enough, but we're going to try as hard as we can.
With the Alabama tape, what were some adjustments that you guys learned you have to make moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, Alabama, we finished terrible around the rim. And, that was one thing, whether it's shots blocked or just missed shots. And, you can't give away those points against them. We had some just lapse of communications on defense. We gave up a dunk off a free throw, some transition baskets we didn't match up, some things that we knew that we needed to do. And we didn't do better. At the same time, I thought we executed well in the second half on offense. Guys made shots, we passed the ball better, but we didn't settle into the game early. And if Alabama comes in, throws a knockout punch, a lot of times it's hard to come back on them because they're just going to keep scoring. And so we let the game get away from us, in the first half.
Are you looking forward to kind of having a chance to rebound defensively, going up against another very good offensive team that scored 90 or more points 10 times this year?
Yeah, the big message to our guys in practice and prep is, let's do what we can do, and, to do the best we can. Really good teams, good coaches, good execution. Sometimes we're not going to stop that. But when we make communication mistakes, mental mistakes, things that we can control, those are the ones we got to fix. And that's going to be our focus going into this game.
Jalen Carey is obviously 19 and played behind an all-league guy last year. A lot of times 19-year-old big men don't have to do what he's doing right now. Just how do you assess what he's done this year?
Yeah, I mean, he's being thrown into, toughest league and against some of the greatest bigs in the country. And he's young, and very rarely do those guys get the opportunity that he's gotten and been able to perform well. He's growing, he's getting better, he's learning along the way. And this is a tough challenge for him. And, he's built for it. He's going to keep getting better. I think you kind of seen some ups and downs with him this year. And I think we got the SEC play. I think he's learning as he goes along, and he's had some really good SEC games, and he'll have a lot more in the future.
Were you surprised by the fact, it feels like Jason Edwards after the injury, a couple of games a little bit off. I mean, it feels like he's back to the old, Jason Edwards from the beginning of the season. I mean, did that surprise you, or is that kind of, par for the course for him?
No, I mean, he took a significant injury against LSU, and like I said, I probably made a mistake playing him the next game. He begged me to play, and I probably shouldn't have. But it was an injury enough. It took him away from practice, took him away from his routine, and now he's back doing that. He's a dynamic scorer. He always will be, regardless of the opponent, regardless of the game. And there's been some situations this year we really need his scoring punch. And he's figuring out our team's figuring out him, and he's a vital weapon for us. We need him healthy.
What do you make of the state of the offense right now? Last week you said it kind of wasn't clicking. Do you feel like it's moving a little bit better? Kind of what's the state of it?
Yeah, I think if you look at the second half of the last two games, I think it's been better. South Carolina was a challenge just by the way they play and the pace of the game, and but it was what it was in that game. We're doing some things right. We evaluate tape and kind of look at the Alabama game. We probably took 10 to 15 bad shots, and you can't do that against good teams. And so we got to constantly work for good shots, understand what a good shot is, and that's not easy right now against the style of defense we're going against, but it's got to get there.
Earlier today,
yeah.
Mark Pope mentioned how McLaughlin gets the second hit rebound a lot, where he may not be the first guy to touch it or grab it, but he'll position himself to get that second hit rebound. Have you seen that, and is that something you coach in him, or something you already knew that he was capable of doing?
No, give him credit. That's a natural thing that he does. And first hit, second hit, third hit, what he does is he pursues the ball, and he goes after it. He's got great timing. It's a lot of times, we're not doing a good enough job of putting more pressure on the rebounds with more guys, and you look at teams that are able to put 2 or 3 guys boxing them out. So we need more guys to go to the glass. Is something we're addressing. But his offense rebound pursuit, a lot of it's natural, but then at the same time, it's a skill too. It's not just somebody saying I want the ball. There is a skill involved as well.
You guys have played a lot of bigger teams and have started to hang with them a little bit more in terms of rebounding. How much do you think you've gotten better, and how much do you think it's just individual guys doing what they do?
Yeah, I wouldn't think our rebounders have been a problem this year against any team that maybe we're outmatched in size. Sometimes it's a technique thing that we weren't there, but even in non-conference, going against TCU, Virginia Tech, Cal, some of these other teams, we did well on the glass, and we have in some SEC games. This is a tough challenge in rebounding league. If you want to see some collisions, you want to see some contact, watch when that ball goes up, and then watch the bodies bouncing off each other. It's not easy.
Coming off that Tennessee win, what was the emotional response going into Alabama? It's hard to keep kids on an even keel. Coaches, yes, but kids are up and down with their emotions.
Yeah, we talked about after Tennessee of just going on to the next, keeping our circle small. And that's easier said than done. There was a lot of attention and a lot of congratulations and pats on the back that players got. And at the same time, you got to understand, in this league, you can't get down after a loss because they'll compound. You can't get too high after a win. So I thought we were ready to play against Alabama. I didn't think that Tennessee had any kind of carryover. But at the same time, it is a challenge with, having a bad loss or a good win.
And do you have a sense going into the Kentucky game?
Yes, it was an off day for us. So I'm going to see them first time this afternoon and see what they're all about. But they'll be excited to play.
What do you know about this Kentucky-Vandy rivalry? How crazy it can get in Memorial Gym?
Yeah, got a great feel for Memorial last weekend and that part of it. I know Kentucky fans love coming to Nashville, and I'm sure they circled on their calendar to try to get down here and get to the game. It's the rivalry part of it. I think Kentucky's probably got a lot of rivals. I think they're a national team that's had a lot of traditional success, and I know a lot of people circle them on their schedule. As far as the Vanderbilt part of it, haven't known it yet. We'll know more Saturday. But just respect for the program, for the coach. These games are fun. Playing a great team, great coach, it's a fun challenge.
Obviously, they have 4 really good bigs who can be really physical. Just how much of a key is it to keep carrying McLaughlin out of foul trouble?
Yeah, we got to do different things to protect our bigs from getting in foul trouble. And there are post players. A lot of times they're on the perimeter. And so I don't think it's going to be some back to the basket stuff, and then we can protect them different ways. But if you watch how they initiate their offense, the 7-footer Williams is out there initiating the offense from the top of the key. And it's some of them other guys. It's the spacing. It's shooting threes. It's a lot of things. So if you said our bigs in foul trouble, I'm worried about that. Yes, but I'm also worried about a lot of other things too.
This will be your 20th game of the season. What has this team proved to you?
Having a time to reflect on that. What I think our strength is we have different guys in different nights. I think we got a number of guys capable of making plays. We're figuring out our roles better. We need to do more of that. And the exciting thing for me is I don't think we're close to how good we can get. I think maybe some of the teams are playing at their top game right now. We're not there yet. And so that's what we're striving for.
Do you think that not being there yet comes from the fact that everyone's still trying to gel?
Yeah, it is. And going against these teams in this league, and you're figuring out things along the way. And if you're a perceptive learner, you're figuring out what you got to do to be successful in this league, and adjustments and things we got to do. The guys are too. And so with the newness of us and kind of just guys still learning each other, learning our system, there's room to grow, and that's exciting.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All good?